If you are struggling to sleep properly because of back or neck pain, then this video is for you. We talk so much about posture and how we stand throughout the day, but actually we probably sleep for about a third of that day. So it's really important that we are in the right position to maintain that and allow your body to rest, relax, and obviously get yourselves in the best position for the remainder of the waking day. I'm Dr. Jeremy Andrews. I'm a doctor of chiropractic here at West Chiropractic, and I'm going to tell you exactly what positions you need to be in to ensure you're keeping your body healthy, getting the best rest long term. We focus so much on standing, and we talk a lot about how you should sit at a desk, shoulders back, nice and tall, rib cage nice and long. But just as important as that, it's how you sleep. So very often at the moment, I'm walking into my kids' room once we put them to sleep just to make sure they are all good. And I see my son Kit, he's 4 at the time of filming this, and he's kind of like on his back and he's like a corkscrew like that. And it's no good for his posture. So I try and align him, get him on his side. I'm going to show you in a second how we should sleep, but he just ends up being in different positions. So many of you can relate to that you go to sleep in one position and you wake up at 1 a.m. or 2 in the morning in a completely different position. So I'm going to show you a couple of things how you can stay in there, and also a couple of other hacks as well that we've developed over time with our clients to make sure that you're getting the best out of your sleep and staying in a good position. Okay, so best position to be in, right, is like this. So this pillow may be a little bit too low for me. I can't see too well, so I think my head is dropping down like that. So your head wants to be completely neutral with that pillow there. We'll go through pillows in a second. The legs need to be at 45 degrees like this, okay? I often put my hand underneath my head like this just to give us a bit of support. If you find your hands out here is more comfortable, or hands crossed over your chest, more comfortable like this. You also want to make sure that you've got something in between your legs. So often I get like a bolster pillow or just another small pillow like that, and I just rest it between my legs. Now what that's going to do is going to stop me turning in the night. So often I go onto my back, but it's going to prevent me from rolling over. Always going to prevent me from going like this. And it also keeps the hips nice and neutral, nice and stacked like that, avoiding that rotation. And lying like this. Now, if you share a bed with a partner, I lie on my right side, okay? So it's very important that I'll be facing out of the bed, not facing into the bed. So as you look at the bed, I should be lying on the left-hand side, okay? My wife, Charlotte, she lies on the right-hand side. She lies on her left side, I think. She changes around. But it's really important you try and stick to a consistent position that you're in. With that being said, which pillow should you use? So very often we get asked by clients saying they've got 3 pillows or 4 pillows, and I'm thinking, 4 pillows? How are you sleeping with that? Now, traditionally we've had feather pillows. So feather pillows are actually no good for your sleeping because they're very inconsistent. So what you need for your neck and for your back is consistency every time. You may have tried loads of different pillows in the past, swapped them over and thought, nah, that's rubbish, spent 100 quid on another one, tried it, it's giving you more pain. You have to try something for at least 4 weeks for your body to get used to it, and it has to be consistent every time. Which is why I recommend a memory foam pillow. Not necessarily those orthopedic curve ones. I like them, but I know a lot of people don't. I just prefer a flat memory foam pillow, probably about this deep, enough of space from your ear to your shoulder that's going to put a lot of support underneath your head here. Making sure that your head is nice and neutral, so you're not like that, you're not like this. That's going to put pressure on your neck. It's going to allow you to stay nice and neutral through there. So I think that's one of the most important things that you can do for your pillow. And you need to try it for 4 weeks. You can get one of these off Amazon for 40 quid, 50 quid. Try it for 4 weeks, be consistent. It may cause more pain at the start, but it's really important you stick with it and just try something for those 4 weeks. If it doesn't work at the end, come and find me. I'll try and recommend another one for you or give you one of ours to try and give it a go, but at least try something for 4 weeks. Mattress. So what mattress should you be sleeping on? This is also a big topic of contention, and we used to recommend a mattress and probably worked 60% of the time, maybe 70%. You get those 3 come back and say, that mattress was terrible. So we try not to recommend mattresses anymore, but as a general rule, it should be a firm sort of 4 out of 5 mattress. 3, 4, I think is perfect. 5 would be too firm, but 2 or a 1, it's going to be too soft. You need something to give you some support to maintain that position, just to help keep everything nice and neutral when you're sleeping. Pocket sprung is great. The more pocket springs, the better. Toppers, I'm not a massive fan of toppers because they do sink down. They're very comfy, don't get me wrong. They don't give you enough support. So if you've got a bad back, you need that support, that structure to be able to push into. You don't want that bad position to be sinking down into that memory foam topper. Getting into a deep sleep is really important. So we need to make sure we're getting down into those lower sleep cycles in order for your body to really restore to rest long term. This is what the sleep experts are telling us. More deep sleep is better for that restorative growth of your body and allow your body to rest and repair. So how do we get into a deep sleep? Well, it's all about the preparation of what you do before that. So I'm going to tell you things you already know here, but I do think it's really important. So caffeine is one that's going to affect your deep sleep. So try not to drink caffeine after lunchtime, if at all. I always have a cup of tea around lunchtimes to keep me going through the afternoon. And then it's also important when you're eating in the evening. If you're eating a lot of like sweet food, sugary food, that's going to affect your ability to get into a deep sleep as well. If you're eating later on, so say for example, you go to bed at 11 o'clock, but you're not eating until 10 o'clock, 10:30, it's not giving your body enough of a chance to actually digest that food, allowing the body to relax and restore and get into that deep sleep. What we try and do, we go to bed quite early, like sort of 9 o'clock. We try and eat before 7, so then it gives our body enough chance, or 2 hours to digest that food. We get to relax at the end of the day, try and just sit down, maybe watch a bit of TV, read a book, just have a chat with each other, sometimes go for a walk, or if we're not going out, just allow that body to rest. We also try and not watch TV like too late. That's hard. Like, I'm really guilty of that, watching TV right up until the minute I go to bed, because it's a stimulant. It's going to affect your ability to get into deep sleep as well. And then, I'm going to say this about phones. And again, I'm 100% guilty of just getting on my phone in bed and, reading a couple of emails before bed or reading the news before bed. Like, those things are going to really stimulate my brain. So I really try and just not do that. Just set my alarm, just put the phone away. I'll look at it in the morning. It doesn't matter about messages or things like that, because that blue screen, that blue light, even the information you're consuming, your body's going to be wired and affect it getting into a deep sleep. Final thing is seeking professional support. So you don't have to come to me. You can go to any chiropractor or any specialist with looking at sleep. Physiotherapist, osteopaths, even your GP will be able to give you some great advice on the positions you need to be in when you're sleeping. But if you did want to come and see us, we've got a free consultation day coming up on Saturday. So I'll pop the link in the chat below. If you're in the area, come on down. We can give you some advice on how your back is moving, but also allow you to get into that good position long term and just make sure that you're stabilizing the spine and the hips. And we can have a look at how you're doing that and then give you some advice and some tips on where you need to be. If you know anybody that is suffering with sleep, please share this video with them. If you like it, hit the like button and obviously subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.